This is You've Already Been Hacked, recorded on 7 November 2020. All right, let's get started with hackers stole U.S. voter registration data. The U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency, also known as CISA, and the FBI have issued an alert to warn that Iranian threat actors recently accessed voter registration data. Interestingly, a legitimate vulnerability scanner known as Acutix was employed by the hackers in their endeavor, and that stolen data was used to send intimidation emails in at least 4 different states. Between September 29th and October 17th, the adversary launched attacks on the U.S. state websites, including election websites, to access voter information, according to both CISA and the FBI. Observed activity included exploitation of known vulnerabilities, the use of web shells, and the abuse of web application bugs. CISA and the FBI can confirm that the actors successfully obtained voter registration data in at least one state. The access of voter registration data appeared to involve the abuse of website misconfigurations and a scripted process using the curl tool to iterate through voter records. The two agencies also note that not one of the observed activity could be attributed to the same Iranian threat actor, but did not share details on other threat groups involved in election targeting. According to the alert, the Iranian-based adversary used open-source queries to access PDF documents from state voter sites and also researched specific information to leverage in their exploitation attempts, namely the Yours LS exploit by bypassing the mod security web application firewall, detecting web application firewalls, and an SQL map tool. In Vermont, the National Guard was called to help with a hospital recovery from ransomware. Vermont's governor called in the state's Army National Guard combined cyber response team to help the University of Vermont's health network respond to a ransomware attack that affected 6 area hospitals. In a quote from the hospital system, "We anticipate additional scheduling challenges to emerge beginning November 6th. When some hospitals and offices across the network will be unable to access appointment schedules." The network also stated that while urging patients to check its website for information related to affiliates, it is also encouraging patients to bring as much information as they can to appointments, including current medications, glucometers, and printed summaries from previous visits, because we all print that stuff out these days. Finally, the hospital system stated, "We sincerely apologize for any difficulty or inconvenience this event is causing our patients. Their safety and security remains our priority and will continue to be the basis for our decision-making." A bit further down the U.S. Eastern Seaboard in the Mid-Atlantic, Chatham County, North Carolina's government network was hit with a, quote, cyber incident. On the 28th of October, the Chatham County government identified a cyber incident that resulted in its network, email, and office phones being inoperable for an undetermined amount of time. The Chatham County government immediately notified authorities and continues to identify the extent of the incident. 911 communications were not impacted and continue to operate without issue. Also, early voting was not affected by this incident. The county has set up notifications on its social media pages, leading to a full website describing the incident. On the website, it currently states that the county is looking for ways on how to provide services in a temporary fashion, as well as restore services moving forward. On Wednesday, November 5th, Ars Technica reported that someone had transferred close to $1 billion, US dollars that is, in Bitcoin out of a wallet likely associated with the Silk Road crime bazaar. We now know who that was, and it was the Department of Justice, which in 2013 shut down Silk Road and went on to put its founder, Ross Ulbricht, behind bars for life. The seizure came 2 days after blockchain analysts noticed someone had transferred 69,369 bitcoins worth about $975 million out of an account that had received them from Silk Road. The wallet, which remained quiet since 2015, was the world's fourth biggest. A private prison operator has disclosed a ransomware attack. The prison operator is Florida-based GEO Group, and this week revealed that it was recently targeted in a cyber attack that involved ransomware, and which may have resulted in the theft of sensitive information. The group operates over 120 jails, rehabilitation facilities, processing centers, and community re-entry centers in North America, the United Kingdom, Australia, and South Africa. In the United States, it also operates some of the controversial ICE detention centers. The company revealed on November 3rd that it discovered a data breach. From August 19th, hackers gained access to their network and deployed a piece of ransomware. Upon detection of the hack, the company moved to disconnect all connections between the compromised corporate servers and facilities, data centers, and corporate offices. However, an investigation revealed that the attackers may have accessed personal and protected health information. The exposed information included names, addresses, dates of birth, social security numbers, driver's license numbers, employee identification numbers, the medical treatment and health-related information of those individuals. GEO says it is not aware of any cases of fraud or misuse of personal information resulting from this breach. GEO has started sending out notices to current and former employees and also informed the SEC through an 8K filing form. Following up on a story we covered last month, the Montreal Transit Agency says it will not pay the ransomware demands. The hackers behind the attack that took down the SMT servers of Montreal's transit system in mid-October are demanding a payment of approximately $2.8 million. The attack caused an outage of more than two-thirds of the Montreal Transit System Agency servers. A reservation system for adapted transport was rendered unavailable. STM said 624 operational sensitive servers were affected by the attack, but more than three-quarters of them are now back online. The SMT website, though, is still down. In a news release this past Thursday, the agency said the attack did not affect bus or metro service and that employees were able to receive their pay almost normally. The attack did, however, stop the STM from providing adaptive transit for nearly a week, and that was reestablished this past Sunday. STM is still working on restoring the rest of its servers. Down in South America, Brazilian courts suffered a ransomware attack. The Brazilian Superior Court of Justice was hit by a ransomware attack this past Tuesday during judgment sessions that were taking place over video conferencing. The Superior Court of Justice announced that the court's information technology network suffered a hacker attack on Tuesday during the afternoon when the 6 group classes judgment sessions took place. The Secretariat for Information and Communication Technology is working on systems recovery to restore all court services as quickly as possible. However, it is not yet known if they were attacked by the same threat actors or if they are hosted on the same sites as the courts. RansomX is a rebranded DFry 777 ransomware version that became a lot more active during June 2020 and known for attacking high-profile organizations. And the Brazilian courts are now the latest victim. Previous victims include the Department of Transportation in Texas, Konica Minolta, IPG Photonics, and Tyler Technologies, and we have talked about all of them previously. Once the RansomX operators successfully compromised the victims' Windows domain controller, they deployed ransomware payloads on all available network devices. So this story is still developing. JM Bullion has been hit with a skimmer attack. This past July, JM Bullion was alerted to suspicious activity on its website. Immediately, they began an investigation with the assistance of a third-party forensic specialist to assess the nature and the scope of the incident. Through the investigation, it was determined that malicious code was present on their website from approximately February 18th to July 17th, 2020, which had the ability to capture customer information entered into the website in limited scenarios while making a purchase. This type of compromise is known as a mage cart attack and consists of hackers compromising a website to inject malicious JavaScript code into various website sections. This code waits for payment information to be entered by the customer, which is then stolen and sent to a remote server under the hacker's control. As part of this breach, attackers could steal customers' names, addresses, and payment card information, including the account number, expiration date, and security code. The malicious code was removed from the site on the 17th of July, and JM Bullion notified law enforcement, their credit card processor, and all impacted credit card brands. Back to north of the border, Canadian mall customers' images were collected without their knowledge or consent. The real estate company behind some of Canada's most popular shopping centers embedded cameras inside its digital information kiosks at least 12 shopping malls in major Canadian cities to collect millions of images and used facial recognition technology without customers' knowledge or consent. Shoppers had no expectation that their image was being collected by an inconspicuous camera or that it would be used with facial recognition technology for analysis, said the Federal Privacy Commissioner Daniel Thurn in a statement. Quote, "The lack of meaningful consent was particularly concerning given the sensitivity of biometric data, which is a unique and permanent characteristic of our body and a key to our identity," unquote. The mall then used facial recognition software to convert those images into biometric numerical representations of individual faces of about 5 million different images. That information could be used to identify individuals based on their unique facial features, according to the commissioners. In its defense, Cadillac Fairview said it used the AVA technology to assess foot traffic and track customers' ages and genders, but not to identify individuals. The company also argued shoppers were made aware of the activity through decals it placed on shopping mall entry doors that warned cameras were being used for safety and security and included the web address for their privacy policy. The commissioners, however, said that wasn't good enough and did not meet the standard for meaningful consent. Cadillac Fairview says it suspended its use of cameras back in 2018 when provincial and federal privacy commissioners launched their probe. In a statement issued this past Thursday, the company said it had deleted all of the data. Scammers just found a new phishing lure to play with, and that's Google Drive. A flaw in the drive is being exploited to send out seemingly legitimate emails and push notifications from Google that, if opened, could land people on malicious websites. The scam itself is nothing new. Messages asking you to click on dodgy links are as old as the internet itself, but could catch a lot of people off guard. The scammers are working their way through a huge list of Gmail accounts, with scores of people reporting similar versions of the attack in recent weeks. One of the scam notifications was received by the news organization Wired, and it linked to a Google Slides document that had been created by a Gmail account with a Russian name. The document's edit history showed it had been copied from another document and was consistently being edited, suggesting the scammers were duplicating the scam and adding more people to try to lure in new victims. Wired contacted the Gmail address linked to the scam document, but of course received no reply. Google has finally deleted the document for violating its terms of service. People targeted by the scam have received Google Drive notifications and emails in Russian or broken English asking them to collaborate on documents with nonsense names. These documents always contain a link to a scam website. One of the websites used for the scam, which was only registered on the 26th of October, bombards people with notifications and requests to click on links to deals and prize draws. Other versions of the scam try to lure people to click on links to check their bank account or to receive a payment. Posts on Google's community forums and social media suggest that the Drive scam has gone into overdrive in recent weeks, with some people complaining of receiving multiple notifications to collaborate on dodgy documents. Many of the documents reported to Google appear to have been deleted for violating the terms of service. Video game maker Capcom has announced that they have been hit with a cyber attack as of the 2nd of November that led to the halting of portions of their corporate network to prevent further spread. Some of Capcom's group networks experienced issues that affected access to certain systems, including email and file servers. The company confirmed that this was due to unauthorized access carried out by a third party and that it had halted some operations as of the 2nd of November. Since the attack, Capcom has been displaying notices on its sites warning visitors that emails and document requests will not be answered due to the attacks impacting email systems. Capcom did not initially disclose the details of the cyber attack, but a ransomware sample found by security research Pancake 3 stated that the Ragnar Locker ransomware gang was the one that committed the attack. The gang claims to have stolen 1 terabyte worth of information. The Ragnar Locker operators left a note stating that they had stolen 1 terabyte of unencrypted files from the corporate networks in Japan, the United States, and Canada. In the note, it enclosed 7 print.sc URLs that displayed screenshots of stolen files, including employee termination agreements, Japanese passports, Steam sales reports from August, bank statements, contractor agreements, and a screenshot of Active Directory users and computers for the Capcom Windows domain. Also enclosed in the ransomware note is a link to a private data leak page on Ragnar's Locker website containing a 24 megabyte archive with additional stolen documents, which included revenue forecasts, salary spreadsheets, NDAs, immigration forms, corporate communications, and royalty reports. The group has claimed to have encrypted 2,000 devices on Capcom's network and are demanding $11 million in bitcoins for the decryptor. And finally, Mattel discloses that it has also suffered a ransomware attack. Top Toymaker Mattel revealed it was the victim of a ransomware attack that successfully encrypted some data and temporarily crippled a limited number of business functions. The disclosure was part of a SEC disclosure filed in late October. Mattel reported that the attack occurred on the 28th of July, and for the most part, it was mitigated quickly and had minimal impact on the company. At this time, it is unclear how the attack occurred, the malware used, threat actors behind the attack, and what strain of malware was used by those attackers. Mattel is downplaying the impact of the ransomware attack it fended off, explaining no sensitive business data or retail customer, supplier, consumer, or employee data was exposed or extorted as a result of the attack. Quote, while Mattel carries cyber and business continuity insurance commensurate with its size and the nature of its operations, there can be no guarantee that costs incurred as a result of cyber events will be completely covered. That's all for the news this week. I'm your professor of cyber risk. We'll talk again soon.